One of the most common mistakes that people make after an accident is not getting medical treatment. I'm John DeGasperis, I'm a personal injury lawyer. In this video, I'm going to discuss some do's and don'ts when it comes to getting medical treatment after an accident. The first thing I want to emphasize is the overall importance of getting medical treatment. Remember, this is a personal injury case, so if you're not injured, you don't have a case. We prove an injury through your medical treatment and the medical records. And that's why it's imperative that you connect with a doctor or a medical provider as soon after the accident as possible. Now, I would expect that you start at the emergency room or an urgent care facility. That's what I see most often. Otherwise, I would expect that you connect with your primary care physician. Those are the three places where people typically start their medical treatment. Now, whenever it is that you do connect with your medical provider, and we hope it's soon after that accident, you want to make sure that you give the provider a good, accurate description of what caused your injury. So often I'm looking at medical records without any context. So the client may say something like, oh, I hurt my ankle, but we don't know why, when, or how. So make sure when you go to the medical provider, you explain exactly how the accident happened. If you slipped on ice, I want to see ice in that medical record. If you fell in a pothole, I want to see pothole in that medical record. The other thing that's really important is after that first appointment, you need to stay with it. It's not enough that you just went to the urgent care or to an emergency room. You need to follow up with your treatment. Now, if you went to the emergency room or the urgent care, you might go to your primary care physician for that second appointment, or maybe you're gonna go right to the specialist, like an orthopedic doctor, a pain management doctor, or something else. But I cannot emphasize the importance of sticking with your treatment. You don't want a gap in treatment. When there are big spaces between your medical appointments, the insurance company is going to attack that gap to try to undermine the quality of your case. Now, other than avoiding that gap in treatment, we want you to get to a specialist. Like I said, orthopedic doctor, neurologist, pain management, and there are so many other specialists. You have to get to a specialist in order to persuade us, meaning me, your lawyer, and the insurance company, that you have a legitimate injury or something worth pursuing. You get more points when you see a specialist and see that specialist often. It's the specialist who's going to intervene, give you injections, do surgery, things like that. Those are the big ticket items, so make sure after your first appointment or two that you are getting to someone who can actually intervene and help. Over the course of time, your specialist may stop demonstrating interest in your case. Maybe the orthopedic doctor says something like, I don't think I can help you, or you've reached maximum medical improvement, but you still feel like garbage. That happens sometimes, and that's where second opinions can be really valuable. There might be another doctor out there who thinks that they can help you, and also, it's good for you. You deserve to get the best care that you can access, and sometimes that means leaving the doctor who has guided your care even for an extended period of time. So don't forget, second opinions can be really valuable to your case because it gives us all another perspective of your injury profile and what interventions may or may not help. So if you are treating after an accident, that's great. You want to make sure that you're using the right type of insurance. So for example, if you were involved in a car crash in New York, you are probably eligible for no-fault insurance. You want to make sure that you're using your no-fault insurance for that treatment. Why? For several reasons. First, the other insurance companies, like liability insurance companies, are watching what the no-fault carrier is paying out on. Also, they're watching the health insurance companies. We're basically looking at how much money got paid out for treatment. It gives us a perspective as to how valuable your case is. Also, by using the right type of insurance, we sometimes can avoid unnecessary medical liens against your personal injury file, and I want to make sure that you are going home with as much money as possible. I don't want to use your settlement money to pay back some insurance company. The final thing I want to share about medical treatment after an accident is telling your lawyer about your treatment. Very often I meet with a client and they'll share with me, hey, I went to the emergency room and I followed up with my primary care doctor. But as the case evolves, the clients sometimes neglect to inform me or my office of developments that are going on with their health, their treatment, or their injury. And I always try to tell people, it's so important that you are communicating with me, that my clients are telling me, hey John, this is going on now with the doctor, or I've been sent over here to another specialist, or I've started this new program of physical therapy. It is imperative that I know all of the details of my clients' cases, including their medical treatment. So be sure to communicate with your lawyer. If several months have gone by while the case is pending, make sure you give your lawyer a call, give them an update about your medical treatment. It will help get you the best resolution possible. So those are some do's and don'ts about getting treatment after an accident. I have a lot more information I can share. So if you were injured and you need a lawyer, give me a call. I'll be glad to help you.